Hello and welcome to another May Arts video. This is Latrice, and today I want to share with you how to create a quick thank you bag that would be a great favor for a little boy's birthday party, or just to simply tell someone thank you. I got to use the Railway stamp set from Stampendous. You can see it here. So this stamp here is kind of a map, and then it came with a few different trains, which I really like this one. That's the one I'm using today. And then it came with a train schedule, which I thought was really cool, which would make a great background. And then also like a kind of a postage stamp or a postcard kind of stamp. This was a really detailed stamp. So I thought it was really great for either creating a background or not necessarily for coloring in like a lot of other stamps are. So let me show you what I've created. So this is the bag that I've created, and I haven't filled it with anything, but you can see that I've gone ahead, I've used some May Arts ribbon. I've got some buttons on here. I kept it all in a blue tone since it would be for a little boy. And then I did thank you here. And I also used some of their vintage or aged taupe embossing enamel. So this is like their vintage stuff. This color was really cool. I'm usually not a gold fan, but this was more like an antique brass, which I thought was really fun to emboss the train in. And then I added a little bit around the edge. So you could leave the buttons off, you could just do the ribbon and just do this portion, and you could create some really quick and fast thank you favors for a train themed birthday party, which all little boys love trains. Okay, so let's get started and I'll show you what I did. So I've already got all my pieces cut out here, and what I did to the top of the bag here is I put a scallop along the top of the bag just to add some interest. So what I want to do first, because these are just normal everyday lunch sacks, I don't want this little cutout here, so I'm going to go ahead and trim that off across. And that's going to give me a flat edge to use my border punch. So then with my border punch, I'm just going to punch along the edge here. And I'm not going to worry about the little frays. I can trim those off in just a minute. Because the bag is a little bit different thickness than cardstock, it wants to kind of catch. So I'm just going to trim those little pieces off. Alright, so now I've got my bag all done. Alright, so next I'm going to add my ribbon. And all I did for my ribbon is I used my regular adhesive runner and I added it to the ends of my ribbon. So let's go ahead and do that. And then I will cut my banner ends. I did the same thing with this mesh ribbon. I didn't worry about trying to cover it fully. You absolutely could use a spray adhesive. Let me change my adhesive super duper quick. Sorry about that. Luckily this is a super quick one. But a spray adhesive works really well, and but I just use my tape runner on all my ribbon. And there's also lots of tape adhesives that are made specifically for ribbon. So it's really just your choice. So now I'm just going to layer these on here, and I'm matching them right up. and then we will trim off the ends. Alright, so now I've gone ahead and I've done my banner edges there, and now what I want to do is I want to go ahead and just add my circle. I went ahead and cut it out of the coordinating cardstock, and then I've cut a white circle just a little bit smaller than that to for my image. So I've gone ahead and I put some 3D adhesive on the back. Go ahead and add this to my bag. And all I did was just center that. Alright, and then let's work on the image here. Alright, so I did 2 steps on my bag here. Let's see if I can get a good image of that. So if you can see in the background, I have a very light blue stamped background of that train schedule from the stamp set, which I really like that because it tied in the light blue from my ribbon. Okay, so let's go ahead and use this. I've got my train schedule, and then I've got some shadow ink here, and I'm just going to stamp this randomly on here. And I did some this way, and then I turned it as well to just cover the whole thing. And I like these are nice clear stamps that you can see through on your block, which is really great. That way you know exactly where you're stamping. Alright, so now you can see, hopefully, that I've got my train schedule stamped on the background there. It's really fun. Alright, so next we're going to do I'm going to stamp my thank you really quick, and I'm just using black ink for this to stamp that right in the center on the bottom. And then I'm going to get my Versamark out and my train, and I'm going to ink this train up. And you want to make sure you get it nice and wet, not super duper wet, but just get good coverage because these are detailed stamps and you want every little detail to show. Okay? So I'm going to stamp this right in the center. Get my embossing powder ready. So if you can see, I will attempt to zoom you in here. This embossing powder is H. Chope embossing powder again. Has nice big chunks in it, which I love. So it kind of, you won't get a perfectly smooth embossed image. This gives you a fun vintage distressed look, which was really great for this train set. Alright, so let's go ahead and emboss this. So tap that off. Now I'll emboss this. Alright, so now that the train is embossed, what I'm going to do next for the edge is I took my pad and I rubbed it right along the edge. Okay, and I know you can't see the Versamark, but it's there. And I wasn't worried about it being super perfect or anything like that. So then I sprinkled all around the edge with that gold, that antique vintage embossing powder. And then I'll heat that. Alright, so now we have our image all embossed and ready to go. So now I just want to add some adhesive on the back of this and add it to the front of my bag. Alright, and then I've got my buttons all ready to go here. This button has, I've gone ahead and threaded them, and then it has just a glue dot on one side and 3D adhesive on the other side, because it's going to partially hang off, and I want it to still be the same height. And then I've got my little button, and then my third button here. So now you can fill this bag with any goodies that you want for a birthday party, and it would be such a cute little bag. They could even take that off and keep it. You could also use this circle idea if you don't want to do a bag. Use this circle idea and incorporate it onto your thank you cards instead. So thanks for joining us this week for May Arts and Stampendous Week. It's been really great sharing lots of ideas with you. And please visit the blog often. There's always contests, and there is always lots of inspiration there. So we hope to see you soon. Thanks. Bye.